This was supposed to be my review of the 2026 Royal Rumble. Here's the deal. I much prefer imaginative videos as opposed to opinionated videos. And while I'm sure the algorithm would be more likely to recommend something that is topical and about the night before, I have an enjoyment for let me have a go concepts. The idea of, man, what if this or what if that? This is only the second ever out of time video where I book, in my opinion, the best possible version of a show. This is the Royal Rumble out of time, much like how I booked the Survivor Series out of time video. I once again did a 5-match card, although this time I did 2 Royal Rumble matches, whereas with the Survivor Series I only did 1 of every match type. I do my best to make the 2 matches different, those 2 being Royal Rumble matches. So the show opens with the Women's Royal Rumble match, and I have pared it down to 20 participants as a way to pay homage to the original Royal Rumble match that was a TV special and not a pay-per-view staple. I have booked participants 1 through 20 for this, and if you could leave a comment below who you would have win this Women's Royal Rumble match. And now I will tell you who the 20 participants I booked are. But before I do that, I want to say that the hardest part about working outside the bounds of time is there are so many all-time classic talents that I wanted to put in both the men's and the women's Royal Rumble matches, but there are a limited number of slots, and you're trying to tell a story here, so there are 3 additional matches on top of the 2 Royal Rumble matches for the show, and no person that participates in the 3 outside matches also participate in the Royal Rumble matches as a way to try and maximize the folks that are on the show. So doing it a little different than real life, because often you'll have crossover, but real life has to work within real time. So the person who drew number 1 in the 20 women over the top rope Royal Rumble match is Asuka. Number 2, Ronda Rousey. So what I did was, in the case of both the women's and the men's matches, is I booked the majority of the Royal Rumble winners. There are 2 men's Royal Rumble winners I didn't book, and no women's Royal Rumble match winners have been excluded. Number 3, Kairi Sane. Number 4, Ember Moon. And number 5, Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, depending on, what you prefer. 6 is Io Sky. Because this booking happens outside the bounds of time, it means that I can implement deceased wrestlers, and so number 7 is Luna Vachon. Number 8, Liv Morgan. 9, Beth Phoenix. And number 10, Bayley. Halfway through the field of women in this out-of-time Royal Rumble match. 11, Rhea Ripley. 12, again, space and time don't matter, so Chyna is number 12. And coming in at number 13, lucky number 13, or unlucky depending on how you look at it, Awesome Kong. Or Karma, depending on which character name or era you prefer. 14 is Lita. 15 is Becky Lynch. Number 16, Mickie James. 17 is Medusa. 18 is Trish Stratus. 19 is Bianca Belair. And number 20, and the final entrant in the Out of Time Women's Royal Rumble match, Charlotte Flair. So like I said, leave a comment who you would have booked to be the winner of this Out of Time Women's Royal Rumble match. Keep in mind, winner of this will go on to main event the Out of Time WrestleMania. The next match is a mixed trios tables match. Elimination style rules where both teams have a championship on the line when AJ Lee, the Divas champion, teams with Dolph Ziggler and Big E to take on Stacy Keibler, challenging for that Divas championship, and the Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray, defending one of their many tag team championships. So I'll say, I don't book winners for the Out of Time show. Leave your winner below. But in this mixed trios tables match, Spike Dudley and CM Punk do get involved to try and give the assist to the two separate teams. After the mixed trios match with the double interference, but, no disqualification in tables match, so it doesn't affect the outcome. It just puts a little extra sauce on it. The next match is a fatal four-way with technicians galore. This match sees the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, take on Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig, the Wrestling Machine, Kurt Angle, and the Human Suplex Machine, Taz, in a Falls Count Anywhere submissions only match. So, label lock, Kaja Hajime, ankle lock, and let's be real, Mr. Perfect can put you away with any number of submission holds. I know that Curt Hennig is capable of using the sharpshooter, which he has fought off and fought against from Bret Hart, or the figure four that he's worked with Ric Flair with, and over all kinds of options when it comes to this submission, Falls Count Anywhere, fatal four-way. And the final match before we get to the men's, and I'll just say it, the men's 40-man Royal Rumble match, again, in a way to both give me more options when it comes to the participants, but also it's a way to say it wasn't the number of 40 that made the match bad, it was the way that you booked it that made it not good. But the last match before we get to the men's over the top rope 40-man Royal Rumble match is an undisputed ladder match. It's a ladder match for the Undisputed Championship, as the Undisputed Champion, Chris Jericho, comes in with both the Big Eagle and the Big Gold Belt. They both hang up from the rafters, and this Chris Jericho, with the Undisputed Championships, is accompanied to the ring by his muscle, the Big Show, Paul White. And his opponent in this ladder match, well, he is a very cool, bad guy. Razor Ramon, accompanied to the ring by Big Daddy Cool, Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Again, pick your winner below. The reason I booked Razor to challenge for the world title, the Undisputed Championship, is because that's what Razor always did. He was the challenger, not the champion, and not in the Royal Rumble match in his entire tenure. And while at one point I did have Jericho in the Royal Rumble match, I rebooked it because I was like, oh, let's have him defending and not competing. Thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long, available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. For the man who drew number one in this 40-man Royal Rumble match, I'll be real, a lot of it's due to the entrance, the amount of time it takes, and the pomp and circumstance for this entrance, and that is The Undertaker. So, The Undertaker makes his way out, takes a while, gets the hat off, gets the coat off, and then we hear a very familiar theme song. You could pick many, whether it be Seek and Destroy, his AEW theme, or, the classic 90s. But I think for this to work properly, the Sting that drew number 2 has to be in black and white. You have a little red here and there, but primarily I think it works best if he's the darker edged version of Sting, because Surfer Sting and Mean Mark, I think, did have a match. I know that he wrestled Young Kane, Bruiser Mastino, but the match everybody wanted was Dark Era Sting and Dark Era Undertaker to go one-on-one. And for these first few minutes, that's exactly what we get, is The Undertaker versus Sting. And who knows, perhaps when we do an out-of-time WrestleMania, if neither of these men are the chosen winner, then they might clash at the out-of-time WrestleMania. But the man who drew number 3 had to do it. The man who drew number 3, woo! The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, famous for winning from number 3 in 1992. Number 4 is the five-time WCW champion, Booker T. The 5th entrant in the out-of-time Royal Rumble match is the immortal Hulk Hogan. Not only is he a multi-time former Royal Rumble winner, which that is one of the things outside of 2 specific winners, every other former winner of the Royal Rumble is in this out-of-time Royal Rumble match, but also because it's out of time, the bounds of life and death do not apply, and so for every now and then there will be a deceased wrestler entering the fray, whether they had won or I just think that they'd be a good entrant in the match. Number 6, Kane. The Big Red Machine, the man who has one of the most elimination records in the history of the match. Number 7, the Total Package, Lex Luger. Number 8, the Animal, Batista. 9 is John Cena, a multi-time Royal Rumble winner and a recently retired wrestler. But here's the thing, he is just, and you'll see it all throughout this match, one of the big names of all history. Number 10 is a man that I believe woulda, coulda, and should have been bigger. When your life ends before you can turn 40, questions will abound as to how big your career could have been, but number 10 is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. 11 is the rated R superstar, Edge. Number 12, Rey Mysterio. 13, Randy Orton. 14 is the man who won back-to-back Royal Rumbles and main evented WrestleMania 12, fulfilling his boyhood dream, Shawn Michaels. Number 15 is Eddie Guerrero. Man, so much talent just in this first 15. It is crazy. But number 16 is Christian. Christian. He is not on his own, but here in this match, can Christian go on to win and main event the out-of-time WrestleMania? You tell me in the comments. Number 17, Sheamus. Number 18, finishing up the Evolution entries into this Royal Rumble, Triple H. Then we have Alberto Del Rio. And number 20 is Big John Studd. 21 is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. 22 is main event Jey Uso, followed by the King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura. 24 is a man I'd actually really like to see Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle out of time. As a matter of fact, I think this might be a really good WrestleMania match. That being Bret the Hitman Hart. 25 is a man that Bret Hart knows all too well, Yokozuna. And 26 is Yokozuna's family member, that being the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. 27 is Braun Strowman. 28 is the first winner of the Royal Rumble, that being Hacksaw Jim Duggan. 29, another Anoa'i family member, or Samoan Dynasty member, that being Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Number 30, if this wasn't a 40-man Royal Rumble, this would be the final entrant, but number 30 in this 40-man All-Star Royal Rumble match is The Rocket, the King of Hearts, the Blackheart, Owen Hart. Number 31 is a man that has for years evaded elimination, but also avoided, or unintentionally avoided, winning the Royal Rumble. That is Kofi Kingston. 32 is Cody Rhodes. 33, Cody's former tag team partner and the man who has recently, as of time of the recording, taken the Undisputed Championship away from Cody, that being Drew McIntyre. So obviously these guys are going to go at it, throwing fists and trying to eliminate each other to get back on top toward that Undisputed Championship. 35 is Stone Cold Steve Austin, the only man to have ever won the Royal Rumble 3 times in real life, or at least as of now, assuming Cody doesn't win or somebody else who's already won twice doesn't win in real time. 35, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Number 36, he is a revolutionary, he's a visionary, he's the architect, the Kingslayer, the Beast Slayer, Seth Rollins. And speaking of the Beast, he is out next at 37, Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. The next big thing, all the nicknames. 38 is Bobby Lashley. 39 is Jon Moxley. And number 40, the final entrant in this out of time Royal Rumble match, is the Ultimate Warrior. So, the reason I booked the Ultimate Warrior to be the final entrant is because that way, like The Undertaker, the Warrior gets his full running entrance. He'll be winded when he gets in the ring, but everybody else will be exhausted too because they've had to go through all of the opponents, whereas Warrior wears himself out by running full speed ahead from the top of the stage to the ring. And yeah, so those are the 40 competitors for the Men's Royal Rumble match. Leave a comment below who you believe should win the Royal Rumble match. And yeah, I'll work on figuring out what is a awesome out of time WrestleMania en route to the WrestleMania season, and hopefully this can be a fun constant on the channel, figuring out what's a good out of time SummerSlam and whatever other wrestling events that make sense for the channel, because I really enjoyed the out of time Survivor Series, and I loved it that people would leave comments of who they would have liked to see win any given match, and especially when people give reasoning, because like the idea that the NWO War Games team overtook Austin and all his random tag team partners made sense when you think about the idea of cohesion in a faction and Austin always having very adversarial partners in the World Wrestling Federation. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you have a fun time thinking about who you would have eliminate who and who you think would be a good winner for all of the matches. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Royal Rumble last night. I hope it was well, I guess more like yesterday afternoon, or it depends on where you're watching it. But regardless, I hope the Royal Rumble was awesome in 2026. And the fun thing is, whether it was amazing or unexpected or terrible, even, it doesn't really change the fact that I like doing imaginary content where I use real scenarios and turn them on their head and just see what kind of fun I can have with it. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy.